Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Drew and you're once again watching Drew Theme Park Dude. Today's video I'll be giving a full guide to Universal Orlando's annual premiere Halloween event, Halloween Horror Nights. Before I begin, it would mean a lot if you could hit that subscribe button as well as the like button to support the channel. Now, off to the video. Now in its 32nd year, Universal Studios Florida transforms into a park full of your worst horrors and nightmares. This event features 10 haunted houses with some based on your favorite movies, TV shows, and even video games, with the others being Universal's original creations. 5 scary zones, a live show, amazing food, and so much more. All of that information and more will be talked about in this full guide to this year's event. Now the map you're looking at is the unofficial guide that was created by Horror Night Nightmares with the rumored locations of the confirmed haunted houses and scare zones. So potentially a location could be off, but most of it is very likely to be correct. First, I'll begin with the 10 haunted houses you will find at this year's event. Starting off where Hellblock Horror was last year, in a soundstage right at the entrance towards the left, right as you enter the park, Yeti Campground kills. This original house continues the Horror Night history of the Yetis we saw in Slaughter Cinema, being the Swamp Yeti, and the more traditional-looking Yetis we saw in Yeti Terror of the Yukon. The official description of the house states, "You and your friends are about to venture into a 1950s campground overrun by huge, menacing Yetis who rip apart anyone who gets in their way. You must flee to the Ranger Tower to escape." So it seems like the story will be kind of similar to Depths of Fear, where you had to get to the escape sub in time before the sub imploded and all those creatures on it, But yeah, it seems like it'll be very neat and definitely will be terrifying seeing these massive Yetis attack from all over. I know Yeti Terror of the Yukon was one of the scariest houses I've personally been through. Very scary costumes, because these Yetis are huge. But yeah, very excited to experience this original house. Next up, in the Universal Plaza, right below Rip Ride Rocket and a sound stage, is a house based on the new Blumhouse film, Exorcist Believer, which releases in theaters this October. The official description is, 2 missing girls have been found with no memory of what has been happened to them, but wherever they went, the ultimate evil has returned with them. Enter the most terrifying scenes from the new Blumhouse film. This house will be interesting due to the house acting more as a trailer and preview for the film, since the movie's not even out yet, so it's going to be very similar to how they did, Dracula Untold in the past, and they've had some, interesting houses in the past where they've tried to, do stuff early and they've kind of not worked out, so I'm interested to see how this one works out because they're obviously not going to want to spoil too much. But yeah, definitely not a priority for me, but so it is unfortunately less on my hype list, but still will check out a few times during the event. At the entrance to where Race 3 New York starring Jimmy Fallon is located is an original house, Blood Moon Dark Offerings. In a colonial era village, moon worshippers witness a blood moon at their fall festival. They take it as a sign to hunt down any non-followers, including you and your Scream Squad. This seems very much like the plot of Fiesta de Chupacabras from last year, which was where a cult/group goes after unwanted visitors. Personally, I'm not that hyped for this house, but we'll give it a chance, and it does seem to have potential, especially with in a colonial village for some sets, which will probably be really neat. And some of the images we've seen of what some of the costumes may look like have looked pretty interesting, so definitely is going to be one of the more interesting houses we will see at this year's event. One of the most anticipated houses is located next door and is based on the popular Netflix show Stranger Things. Stranger Things Season 4. Band together with your squad to resist Vecna's gruesome curse as you take on the scariest season of Stranger Things yet. This house will easily be the most popular by far, expected to have super long lines every night for both regular and express. And also, it seems like we'll be traveling through Vecna's Realm, the infamous Krill House, and you could probably hear Kate Bush's running up that hill several times in the queue line. So I'm personally a huge fan of the show. I did enjoy it. I saw it when it came out and was a fan. I did wonder why they didn't have it last year, but I guess something fell through. But now this year we get to have it, so that's going to be really neat. And we're looking forward to getting to experience it. I was a huge fan of the Season 2 and 3 house in 2019. I did not get to do the Season 1 in 2018 because I didn't go to the event until 2019, but I did really enjoy the last Stranger Things house they did, and I feel like just the season is just so much scarier and has so much more going on that I feel like it worked perfectly for a house, so this is definitely what I'm most anticipated for this year. Based on a very popular defunct attraction from Islands of Adventure is the next original haunted house, Dueling Dragons Choose Thy Fate. Located in one of the sound stages, 2 warlocks of great power were turned into dragons after trying to take Merlin's spellbook. Now you and your friends are caught in their epic battle. You must choose a path and a victor. This haunted house will continue the lore of the fan favorite ride as 2 wizards battle and are turned into dragons by Merlin. With the title Choose Thy Fate and the description saying you must choose a path and a victor, I'm assuming there will be two potential routes in this house, fire or ice, which each will have two different endings as well, with them winning or losing, for a potential of 4 different endings, which it was confirmed that this house will have 4 different endings from the Inside Universal podcast. So I'm wondering if that means, if you pick fire, fire could win, fire could lose. If you pick ice, ice could win, ice could lose. So there's 4 different scenarios. Very interesting. This house is by far one of my most anticipated. I know the set design is, just the little teaser image they showed of the facade, incredible. Huge fan of, of the ride, so I think this will be a fan favorite, very popular original house, and maybe even in the future we could see a Poseidon's Fury house, who knows. Located in the Fast and Furious Supercharged Extended Queue line is a very popular intellectual property house, Chucky Ultimate Kill Count. Chucky, the serial killer doll, is back for a new gore fest. He's hijacked his own haunted house with all kinds of bloody hijinks. You and your friends must try to survive his ultimate kill count. This house seems very fourth wall breaky, and it appears the house announced at the end of last year's event, which is the teaser that is playing right now, was actually for the house that Chucky goes and visits at HHN and then disapproves of, since nobody's actually dying. So he obviously fixes that, and so we may see some sets and scenes from the show or big Chucky kill moments, but as been confirmed, we will see dead scare actors and house attendants in the house, and even possibility actors dressed as guests that all fall victim to Chucky because, he disapproves of his own haunted house. So yeah, since Chucky is one of the almost all-time, most popular horror icons, I assume this house will have a huge weight, so definitely plan around this house if you want to check it out. Located in one of the 2 sprung tents is an original house based on this year's icon, Dr. Oddfellow. Dr. Oddfellow's twisted origins. You won't be able to resist going inside Dr. Oddfellow's menacing menagerie of twisted oddities, but the price for you and your friends is steep, the cost of your souls to feed his immortal power. So this house is an origin house where we get to see Dr. Oddfellow's story and how he came to be where he is today, basically as like the puppet master behind the entire event from the beginning. It has been confirmed we will see Jack the Clown in this house, and the scar that you see on Dr. Oddfellow was given by Jack the Clown, and also that, I guess, was what caused these characters to be immortal, and all this different Horror Night lore and all of that. But yeah, he's been behind every Horror Nights event, unleashing all the monsters. Looking forward to seeing this house. Brand new icon. I know we've heard of him in the past at, other Halloween Horror Nights events, but this is the first time that we're actually going to see Dr. Oddfellow and get to see, how he is really behind the entirety of this event. So yeah, looking forward to seeing this new HHN icon's origin. The other sprung tent will be home to the original house, The Darkest Deal. Blues musician Pine Straw Spruce will have to face the music after meeting with the collector and trading his soul for musical glory. You and your squad learn the terrible price of fame. This house is inspired by the tale of Robert Johnson, who was a blues singer that sold his soul to the devil in exchange for fame. And obviously it doesn't need well for him, it doesn't end well for him. This house will get to see Universal Creative's original take on the tale, and definitely believe this house will have the best soundtrack as well as one of the best facades, which can already be seen from aerial photos above the sprung tent. We have gotten to see what the collector character looks like, who is inspired by the devil, and is pretty scary looking. Since this house is in the back of the park, make sure you don't forget to pay a visit to this haunted house. I'm pretty sure, this might be one of the lower weight houses since it's kind of, in the back, not themed major around anything, super popular. So, but I do feel like this will be definitely like a very popular house among, Horror Night fans that go multiple times. So yeah, definitely make sure you guys check this haunted house out. My most anticipated haunted house is up next. It is located in one of the parade buildings and based upon Naughty Dog's hit video game, The Last of Us. This will officially be coming to this year's event. Enter the world of Naughty Dog's video game in real life, as you fight to survive and navigate your way through an abandoned Pittsburgh with Joel and Ellie. This house is also confirmed to have newly recorded voice lines from both Tori Baker and Ashley Johnson, who starred as Joel and Ellie in the original video game. I cannot wait to go through my favorite scenes from the first video game in this all-new haunted house. From the official HHN 32 Scream Squad teaser, we get to see a first look at one of the clicker costumes, and it looks really, really neat. I mean, it is pretty spot on and accurate. I know we've seen a lot of food booths already appear around the park themed to The Last of Us. Different Sting Alley I know has been converted into a Last of Us food rations area. So they're definitely going all out with The Last of Us. I'm really excited they're doing this. And this is based on the video game, not the TV show. That is a very big distinction that that Universal was trying to convey that a lot of people, I guess, didn't really understand fully, is this will not, be the Pedro Pascal TV show. It is the video game, which they're very similar, but there is some differences, especially with the Pittsburgh section being a lot larger in the video game, and there's actually a lot more, clickers and more scary aspects in the video game that I think that they kind of skipped over in the show. So yeah, that's definitely something to be on the lookout for. But yeah, super excited for this one. The final house, which is located in the other parade building, brings back some of Universal's most underrated classic monsters. Universal Monsters Unmasked. Descend into the Paris catacombs, where you and your squad will face a new horde of monsters: Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the Phantom of the Opera, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and the Invisible Man. This house brings together a group of the lesser-known monsters in this all-new haunted house. I'm personally a huge fan of the Universal Monsters houses that they've done in the past. 2019's Universal Classic Monsters is my personal favorite HGN house of all time since the years that I've been going, which was in 2019. Universal Monsters Legends Collide is easily a top 5 for me and was my favorite last year. So I'm really excited for this. Huge fan of the Phantom of the Opera and all of that. So getting to see this new group of monsters makes me super excited. We get to explore the catacombs as well as Phantom's Lair have all been confirmed for this house. Definitely, have this house on your radar for a potential scariest house of the year, as the other Universal Monsters houses have been terrifying. So yeah, make sure you guys check out this haunted house. Now that is all of the 10 haunted houses coming to this year's Halloween Horror Nights, but that's not all for what is offered at the event. The event also features 5 scare zones located throughout the entire park, bringing scares to every corner. This year, every zone is tied to the icon Dr. Oddfellow and will take place in a different time as part of his origin. The first scare zone is located right when you enter the park and will go through the first part of Minionland. Dr. Oddfellow's collection of horror will feature the icon himself as well as his monsters and creatures. Dr. Oddfellow will lure you into Halloween Horror Nights with a promise of immortality. As he lifts the veil on all of the horrors to come, you'll soon realize you may not even survive the night. If you keep going straight into New York, past where the brand new Horror Night comic book themed tribute store will be, you enter the second scare zone, Vamp 69, Summer of Blood. This zone is themed around a vampire-filled music festival where Dr. Oddfellow attended. At a 60s music fest in a small New York town, you'll jam in a popular bands with fellow concertgoers until Dr. Oddfellow unleashes vicious vampires on the audience. They are out for your blood. Next up, beyond Fast and Furious Supercharged and into San Francisco, you enter Shipyard 32, Horrors Unhinged. This zone will include Dr. Oddfellow releasing his nightmare-filled monsters and creatures in a shipyard to attack any guests who dare enter this zone. The zone will feature monsters from past Horror Nights events, kind of similar to how Hellblock Horror was from last year's event. Enter a 1940s San Francisco shipping yard full of mysterious crates and cages bearing Dr. Oddfellow's symbol. Beware, his nightmarish oddities have now escaped, spreading fear and chaos in their wake. The fourth scare zone is located in the Central Park section and is called Jungle of Doom Expedition Horror. I've been a huge fan of the zones that have been in this location in the past, as it's most closed in and almost like a haunted house with not lots of room to hide from the monsters. The official description reads, in the 1920s, Dr. Oddfellow ventured deep into the darkest jungle, performing horrific experiments on nature. Now his monstrous creations are running amok and are coming after you. The fifth and final zone is located in Hollywood and is dark as Zodiac. Personally, I don't have lots of knowledge on Zodiac science in general, but it still seems like an interesting and potentially one of the more scarier zones. The whole event seems to be centered around Oddfellow's Zodiacs and how he summons different monsters and demons through them. This zone potentially could have the most monsters of them all, and appears to be where they origin from. Dr. Oddfellow has entered a dark dimension to harness the power of the Zodiac and live forever. He twists the signs into malevolent beings who foretell your doom. As his star rises, yours falls. So that wraps up all of the 5 scare zones coming to the event this year. Halloween Horror Nights is also known for their shows, which they have won this year: Halloween Nightmare Fuel Revenge Dream. The show that sparked your darkest dreams has reignited. Let your nightmares burn out of the control as the pyro and aerial performers fire you up to the beat of metal and electronica. The event will also have Death Eaters roam Diagon Alley for the first time, which you can already see, set pieces around the area. So this area will no longer be safe, as like the break area, as there will now be scare actors all throughout Diagon Alley, themed after the Death Eaters from the Harry Potter franchise. You also have David S. Pumpkin from SNL at Peacock's Horror Bar. New this year, Peacock's Horror Halloween Bar will feature themed libations within an ominous nightclub vibe, photo opportunities, and more. There's also, the Dead Coconut Club is coming back over in City Walk. New photo opportunities, this new comic book tribute store theme, which, first people will be able to walk through today at the day of recording this. Looks really neat. And yeah, fan favorite food items such as pizza fries are returning, and new items themed after Stranger Things, Last of Us, and Chucky are also coming, and just so much more. Thank you for reaching the end of this video, and if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe for future content. And also, all the info I gathered here was either from Universal Orlando Resort's official website or the HHN wiki page. I'll be covering so much Horror Nights related content here on the channel, so don't miss out. I hope this guide helps you plan your night or gets you excited, when you visit Halloween Horror Nights 2023, as I will be going very soon, planning at the end of the week, as this, video dropped right before I'm going to the event, so very excited to check it out. Make sure you guys come on the channel, because I'll have all the Scare Zone videos uploaded. I'll probably have, reviews and all of that, so make sure you don't miss it. But yeah, have a great day, everyone. See ya. Bye.